Let's look at nonverbal children and use terrible twos as an example. Okay, what terrible twos really is to me is children that can't communicate. They want something, they know what they want, but they can't communicate it, and they get frustrated. Autistic kids are the same way. There's some autistic kids that are not verbal. And can you imagine how frustrating it would be to know what you want and you can't communicate? Now, communication itself is not always verbal. It's about being heard. So we need to find these kids a way to communicate. My cousin's daughter, for example, when she was 2 years old, she was a late talker, and she would get so frustrated. She knew what she wanted. It could have been a free piece of fruit. It could have been, take me out to the park. It could have been this. It could have been that. But she would get so frustrated, she would throw a tantrum because nobody could understand what she wanted. And she couldn't communicate with that. She couldn't get it out of her system. She couldn't relay what she wanted. So instead of getting all frustrated and pissed off and, punishing the child, what we did was I printed off a bunch of clip arts of every possibility thing that she could want. It could be a bowl of fruit. It could be a walk in the park. It could be, go for a walk. It could be go to the bathroom. It could be a bunch of things. We printed off a bunch of clip arts and we plastered one wall, the first 4 feet of one wall. And whenever she wanted something, if she started to get upset and whatever have you, it was, take her to the wall, go to the wall, and point out what you want. And then we would actually verbalize with her. Okay, if you want a banana, make her say banana. Get her to verbalize it, and then she gets a banana. The thing of it is, we're accomplishing a couple of things here. You're teaching the child to verbalize, and you're actually giving that association between verbalizing and what they want. Okay? Now, an autistic child may never learn to speak, but we're giving them reasons to verbalize. That's the whole thing, and that's the one big thing with self-directed learning. So when a child gets really upset and they want something, they can't relay it, again, put a bunch of clip arts on the wall and just tell them to go ahead and point, or bring them to the wall and tell them to point to what they want and then verbalize. This is going to give them a reason, the self-directed learning, to kick in. And it actually helped her learn to talk a lot faster, because now she's starting to verbalize what she wants. She's making that association. She's making that comparison. Stop and think differently. Communication is not about verbal. It's about being heard. And these kids need to find a way to be heard. It's your job as a parent to find a way to allow them to communicate. Have a good day.